Today, we're going to be introduced to our next short story as part of our Risking It All unit. It's called A Sound of Thunder by Ray Bradbury. Before we learn about the story, let's meet the writer himself, Ray Bradbury. He's known for a wide variety um, of novels, children's books he's written for television and even poetry. But the one thing that is consistent throughout his work is his really vivid, his just crazy imagination, the storytelling style that he uses, and the way in which he looks at the world and tries to make commentaries about what's going on around him. And that sets him apart. I mean, he's a fantasy science fiction writer, and that really sets him apart from the rest of the writers in his genre. Just a little bit of background about him. He was born in Illinois in 1920. So giving you a time frame of his life and some biographical information. He died recently, but like many of us, he became interested in books and writing early in his life. Now, he wasn't just about telling a story, but he wanted to change the way that people think. He has published over 500 works, again, from short stories to screenplays and verse. He really exemplifies what it is to have a pure and creative imagination. And his works are classics, never to be forgotten. The Martian Chronicles, some of his books, Illustrated Man, my personal favorite, and something you may read in high school, Fahrenheit 451, and Something Wicked This Way Comes. These are master works that, again, are timeless, and it appeals to audience old and young. And he's received many awards for his contribution to the world of literature. He was awarded the National Book Award in 2000 for his contribution. And as you'll see through his writing, his storytelling is something that sets him apart from the rest. He calls himself a teller of tale and a magical realist. He also claims to have I would say, photographic memory of sorts. He remembers every book he's ever read, any movie he's seen. He even professes to remember his birth. All of these memories and this imagination, you can just kind of imagine the child that he was. These have all been materials for the fiction and poetry that he has been writing for more than 50 years. Um, Again, thinking of childhood fantasies and nightmares and ideas that we played around with as a kid, like time travel, which we're going to read about today. Children who never age, Never Ending Rain. Maybe you've read the short story All Summer in a Day in seventh grade. All of this is really childlike qualities, but is told as a grown-up. And he's concerned, and a lot of his stories are warning against this blind faith in science, but yet at the same time, they're optimistic. There's a lot of twists. He takes everyday events and objects and he twists them, a lot of twists and turns, and he really challenges you to revision um, things around you, look again in a new light. And he has excited many people, by the way, in which he looks at what is a current topic, is how do we use technology more responsibly. So the story you're going to find has some connections to another author you've read, George Orwell of Animal Farm. The quote, "Who controls the past controls the future," which is a theme that we're going to explore in this short story. So the year is 2055, and Eccles, he's a very rich, wealthy hunter, sportsman hunter. He wants to travel back in time. He's had enough. He's traveled the world. He has come across the largest game you can encounter in present. So he wants to go back and kill a dinosaur, a T-Rex to be exact. But he gets over his head when he books a trip or a passage with a company called Time Safari Inc. So what this story explores is the possibility that even one tiny change to the environment of the past can drastically change the future. He tells this story in a very lush style. So as you read, look at the author's style, how he uses very vivid imagery, a lot of figurative language to create this exotic, very different setting of where the story is taking place. All of this, the setting, the figurative language, it really helps to shape what you're going to find as kind of a tense and suspenseful mood or atmosphere, kind of this anticipation of what is going to happen next. So as you read A Sound of Thunder, keep an eye out for these things, use of imagery, figurative language, and can you spot the foreshadowing, a little bit of clue of what is about to happen. So I hope you enjoy A Sound of Thunder by Ray Bradbury.